So let's get started with this first section.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
I was saying, while we're keeping Julian Assange locked up for exposing crimes against humanity, the mainstream media, instead of yelling and screaming as they should, fighting for another journalist, instead they're trying to rehabilitate Hitler. That's the establishment left media. Yeah, I mean, this is an actual fucking thing, fam. To make Putin more awful than Thanos, they are rehabilitating Hitler.
And it shouldn't be a surprise, considering they've rehabilitated warmonger after warmonger, giving them medals after their warmongering ways. So Hitler, I mean, if Hitler were here today, if he were alive, he would be sitting next to Michelle Obama, George W. Bush, and they would all be having dinner together.
Yep.
Because they would literally, like, if he were alive, they would be like, you know what? Hitler did some bad things, but he's definitely not as bad as Putin. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. And it's crazy that we even have to talk about this, but here are some examples of the lunacy that has been said on Twitter. This is Pavel Mayer. Hitler did not use his office to extract bribes and get into bed with organized crime. So we could say that in the terms of civic values, Hitler was even a more decent person than Putin is, as crazy as it sounds.
Sounds crazy to me, fam.
This is Anders Aslund. He said Hitler recognized Poland but called for concessions. Putin absurdly claims that Ukraine is not a state. Hitler had left the League of Nations. Putin violates every international law there is. Hitler did not use chemical weapons. Putin is preparing to do so.
Preparing.
I'm sorry. What the fuck was Auschwitz then? Or
the gas chambers?
Yeah.
They weren't chemical weapons. They were like, I don't know, Glory. You're good. Your guess is good as mine. This shit is really happening in real time, ladies and gentlemen.
We have to
literally, this shit is fucking nuts.
But it is nuts.
You're gonna see a wave of people that when they try to hold this bullshit about false flags in Ukraine, they're gonna be like, looks like Putin went full Assad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're already doing it, but it is like Syria in terms of the false bullshit that they're putting. So what stage is the U.S. empire at right now, where they're trying to dismiss the neo-Nazi threat? They've been trying to do this the whole time since this whole thing started. And of course, they're whitewashing all of Hitler's crimes against humanity, pretending imagine if we did this before, like anytime for instance, the Palestinians, right, fought back against Israel, they would say, oh, how dare this anti-Semitic. But now when it comes down to like rehabilitating Hitler for Ukraine, it's okay. Just another, comparison there. And so Putin and Russia at this moment are fighting against majorly now whatever's left of the Ukrainian battalion. And we're going to go into that a little bit later, but it's neo-Nazis. So it's fucking crazy to me that this is happening. And by the way, even Wikipedia admits that Hitler most definitely used chemical attacks. Okay. And it was Zyklon B, and even Wikipedia has it right there. It says was the trade name of cyanide-based pesticide invented in Germany in the early 1920s, consisted of hydrogen cyanide, prussic acid, as well as the cautionary eye irritant, and one of the several adsorbents such as diatomaceous earth. The product is notorious for its use by Nazi Germany during the Holocaust to murder approximately 1.1 million people in gas chambers, installed in Auschwitz, as Gloria said, and other extermination camps. 6 million Jews were murdered during the Holocaust. So they can just blatantly lie, and that's it.
And how many millions of Russians were killed during World War II?
100 million.
Well, it's 40 million is the total. I think that they're saying over the last 100 years, there was like 100 million people, Russians, that have been killed in both wars, and something like it's ridiculous. I don't know, but people try to say that Stalin killed 60 million at the lie, and
Stalin shouldn't even come into play now.
That's what I was just about to say. That I've had friends and several friends, and I'm not picking on one friend in particular. I've had several friends, and even some of these lawmakers kind of like bring Stalin into play. Like this is this like kind of master plan of Putin to bring back the old Soviet Union. So his imperialist mindset, now that Russia's back on its feet, supposedly, that's what he's looking to do. I just am saying, why now? What's going on now? There's a lot more to this. If you understand what's going on in the Ukraine, you shouldn't have to justify what Putin's doing, but you should certainly expect it. It's on his fucking border. Neo-Nazis, nuclear weapons, biolabs, the whole 9 yards, fam. This is like so stupid to think that Putin's just going to sit there. Can you imagine if it was on our southern or northern border?
It would. We know. So okay, so first of all, I gotta read this. So the Maddow vlog, Rachel Maddow's little bullshit, tweeted, one difference between Putin and Hitler is that Hitler didn't kill ethnic Germans. German-speaking people, Putin slaughters the very people he said he has come to liberate.
Which is just a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah, Putin slaughters the very people he said he has come to liberate. Okay, so then they deleted this video, and we're going to show the deleted video, but they said the historical record is clear. Hitler killed millions of Germans. We tweeted out part of an inaccurate statement made last night by former Ambassador Michael McFaul without attribution, and we regret doing so. We have since removed the tweet. He still has his job, doesn't he?
You know what? I don't watch MSNBC enough to do so to understand.
They're probably
but
just not going to call him back for a while, but I'm pretty sure.
The thing that's really a shame, fam, when it comes to RT is RT was actually just going out to the field on the ground, showing you what's going. They were there. They were showing these videos about what would happen in Donetsk and Luhansk, which, the mainstream media, none of the alphabet soup guys even covered or put in their Google stuff whatsoever. So the fact that RT is going out there and letting you see what's happening, it's just some amazing journalism. But that's another reason for the high censorship. They don't want you, the people, to see stuff. They don't want you to know that we funded neo-Nazis. I say we, the United States funded neo-Nazis. They don't want you to know the people in Donetsk and Luhansk got bombed. Children, old grandmas living in their cellars in fear for 8 years by those neo-Nazis from weapons we supported. They don't want you to know what's going on right now. They want you to think that Kiev is having sirens and having bombs all the time. It's not. Putin is not taking territory. He is doing military exercises to get rid of to denazify the place and to take their weaponry out. He's not going to have a hostile anti-Russian government propped up by the West with biolabs on his border, guys. It's stupid to think so.
So let's just play the video where this man, McFaul, does this. And
fam, look at his face. He looks like a friggin' one of those people from the Lost freaking, what do you call that? The Dark Crystal.
Okay.
And I want to just say one other thing. I was just on Ukrainian television just 30 minutes ago. Brave journalists, just like our team covering the war there in Kiev. And one of the commentators said something interesting about how horrific this war is. And remember, these are people who suffered under fascism, that fought the Nazis. As the Nazis came and then the Red Army came back through. One of the Russian journalists said, there's one difference between Hitler when he was coming in and Putin. Hitler didn't kill ethnic Germans. He didn't kill German-speaking people. That's I think people need to remember that when we're talking about cities like Kharkiv and Mariupol and Kiev, there are large populations there. Up to a third and sometimes as much to a half that are Russian speakers and are ethnic Russians. And yet Putin doesn't seem to care about that. He slaughters the very people he said he has come to liberate.
Fam, that is such a lie, too, on top of things. It's just these people in Donetsk and Luhansk from the get-go were begging. They were begging for Putin to get involved.
If anything, they were mad that he didn't get involved.
Exactly.
Sooner.
They would do protests with Russian flags all the time. They wanted to be a part of Russia in those borders. They love going in and out of the Russian towns back with their families, whatnot. They spoke Russian, and it's just disgusting that he's making up these lies.
Just make it up.
Like Matt Dust. That's when Putin invaded. Putin didn't invade shit. We invaded because we put up a puppet government.
It's crazy to me, the massive hysterical propaganda that's happening, because we're going to be seeing when I go over the TikTok influencers section, because they basically all repeat the same exact words. And it's propaganda because they repeat it without any sort of historical fact, because you can go back and you can even see, and I didn't even get a chance to put this in, the mainstream media coverage pre this conflict about the white nationalists, the actual neo-Nazis, the Banderite fascists. Constantly, mainstream media was talking about them. The moment we decided to back, obviously, with NATO and Ukraine in this conflict, that entire media conglomerate of talking about these band right fascists changed completely.
Yep.
It completely changed.
Vice, right? They talked about these band right fascists all the time.
Them.
As soon as the State Department said, no more of that, they got in line. You know who your media is and you know who it ain't now, right now. You know who your propagandists are and you know who the people who are going to give you the truth are. You know it now because this should be a fucking layup as far as calling bullshit. And fam, you're going to pay more gas. It's Putin's fault. Everything is Putin's fault. I can see Biden giving a press conference. There was a hurricane in Florida, and I called Putin directly and let him know we will not tolerate this.
You got to squint your eyes more when you do it. There you go.
There was an earthquake in California, and I immediately picked up the phone and let Putin know we will not stand for this aggression. They are blaming everything on Putin. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, will you fall for it or will you call bullshit?
I think it's time to call bullshit, even if you fall for it already. And I think a lot of people are realizing that.